Hi everyone, so episode 2 of Attack on Titan Season 2 just came out, and it was mainly a character-centric episode revolving around Sasha, which makes sense, we knew that from the preview. Also, out of the side characters, Sasha's probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite side character, and so she deserves some shine, and this episode wasn't as OMG, what the hell happened here as the previous one. But it was still pretty cool to get some background info on Sasha because it was just, like, I remember in the beginning she was introduced as this weird potato girl and she has like this food fetish and stuff, and this episode kind of fleshes that out a little bit to the point where we actually get a flashback about her growing up and in this like village that's within Wall Rose, which is exactly the wall that was breached in the previous episode by the Titans. So the 104th get dispatched over to like warn people and get them out of the village as soon as possible. And I think like in terms of like the anime, I think we didn't have a lot of information on Sasha as a character. The only thing I remember, aside from her personality and the way that she behaves, which is kind of quirky. I think the only thing I remember about her is that she was a hunter. That's the only thing that was pre-established about her. But now it's more of like, okay, so there's something else going on here. Because it turns out that, well, because she was within Wall Rose, when Wall Maria got busted up, when the invasion of Wall Maria began, which is like I think during the first episode, and that's where Eren and Mikasa and Armin lived, and they had to leave, right? So after the attack, this influx of immigration started going into the inner layers, and as a consequence, like Sasha, in the beginning, she's like starving almost because there's not enough food, so they have to ration their food out for the winter, and there's not enough animals. It's just they don't have enough resources because more people are coming in, and obviously there's less to go around, which ironically happens to be very similar to the situation that YouTube is going through right now, because of advertisers pulling out of the website. I will say though that, some of the little mannerisms that she has, especially when she like munches down on food, I never really made the connection up until this point when she's fighting her father for the food. And by the way, I also really thought it was cool how they decided to keep his identity a secret till the very end. Like, we don't really get confirmation about the fact that he is in fact her father till the very end. I thought that was cool. But yeah, the way that like Sasha's behaving in terms of like munching down on this thing, it kind of does resemble like the behavior, or at least some of the mannerisms of some of the Titans when they go in for the kill for the humans. It was actually kind of eerie. It's a little bit weird because, again, I don't read the manga. I don't know what's going to happen, and so I do kind of make connections, and maybe these connections aren't worth anything, but I did notice that she was slobbering when she took that bite, and also she did the same thing, the same technique that she used against her father to get the food is the same technique that she used against that Titan to blind him by the end. So it's basically like this this motion where you actually block the opponent's jaw and you send it upward like this. I also thought the message of Sasha's dad was pretty cool, pretty much needed at this time. He was basically telling her, we don't exist in isolation. We're on the same exact boat, all right? It's not about us versus them. It's more about, Sasha, haven't you seen High School Musical? Then there's this scene with Ymir and Krista, which, by the way, even Sasha thinks it's weird that, she goes back to that scene. She's like, why am I remembering this at this time? But yeah, Ymir and Krista have always been like suspiciously, well, not suspiciously, but just very close. And they're still like, we don't really know much about them at this point, at least not from an anime-only perspective. And Ymir just kind of calls Sasha out. It's like, why are you talking this way? You're so weird. Like, you're annoying. Like, you should live or talk the way that you talk in your ranch, in your farm. Do the same thing you do back there over here. Do it, because who cares at the end of the day? We're all about to die anyway. I really want to find out how Ymir and Krista became such good friends and so close, because it's almost like their personalities are polar opposites. Like, Krista's like this nice, like little, like kind of like angel dove, and then Ymir's kind of like this gangster. Oh, I'm gonna call Hot Potato out on her BS. Village West Side represent. All right, represent. Don't be ashamed of your roots. Stand up for the village side. We get a scene with the main trio, which is Eren, Mikasa, and Armin, alongside Hanji and Mr. Clean Levi. They're also taking the priest from the previous episode that refused to disclose why there were Titans in the wall in the first place. And at first it's like, why are you taking this asshole with you? It doesn't make a lot of sense. But now it's kind of like, no, we want him to see the violence. We want him to see the brutality, the blood, people being torn to shreds so that he can actually help us and let us know why there are titans in the walls. The way Hanji explains it is that if this dude is willing to give up his life to keep the secret a secret, then you can just imagine the magnitude of consequence or the magnitude of the repercussions of letting that secret slip, right? Like in his mind, like whatever he's keeping a secret, the value of that has to outweigh the fate of humanity. Which it's like, really, there's something else that's bigger than the fate or the livelihood of the people that are alive right now. You're willing to risk I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense from an anime only perspective. I kind of get the feeling that it would make a lot more sense from a manga reader's perspective. Kind of find it funny how like Mikasa is literally like a mom at this point. Last week she fell asleep sitting down watching Eren, and then in this week's episode she's getting Eren to cover up. You know, because it's a cold, chilly night. Anyway, they do play some epic music from season 1 when they exit, when they rush the horses out of there because they're on their way to war, and it's cool. Gets the adrenaline pumping. Another thing that this episode did very well was kind of frame Sasha as a heroine. Believe it or not that type of heroine. She goes into this village and she finds this man-like titan munching on this woman. This woman apparently had lost the use of her legs, or if she hadn't, like they were not working well. And so he's literally eating her alive in this scene. And I have to admit, at first, I didn't think that Titan was a Titan. I actually thought, oh, this is a naked man, becoming a cannibal. I really did believe that. I thought, this is not, because he looks too much like a man. He even has the creepy, pervy mustache. I don't know why, but I kind of get the feeling that because of the creepy mustache comment, a lot of people are going to be like... Sasha takes an axe, she swings it at the back of the neck of this guy, the nape, and it doesn't work. Why didn't it work? I don't know. I mean, are Titans becoming immune to the previously established weakness? Because I know, female Titan, she could crystallize that part of her, but this guy is like, what's going on? Like, what happened? Why didn't it work? And then we have this little girl, and you can tell just by looking at her eyes, this girl is scarred for life. I mean, this girl is traumatized. She'd be lucky just to have PTSD after this. It was a very hard, gruesome thing to witness, but also, part of the reason why she's in shock in the beginning, I think, is because maybe she believed that a lot of the villagers would help her. But nobody came through. She's like, I don't understand. Why are you being so nice? Like, why are you doing this to me? Like, everybody in the village knew about, the woman's legs, and nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. So it's hopelessness combined with disappointment in humanity that nobody really helped out. So props to Sasha for that, for helping this little girl escape certain death. And it kind of goes back to the message of her father. Because I really do believe that wasn't even her village, right? That was just like a village that she found on the way. So yeah, and then to the point where she even tells her, like she does a really good shot. By the way, the animation, I haven't said this, but it's obvious, the animation is amazing. She turns on her heel and she's like, just keep running, right? Just keep running. Forget about me. I got you covered, little girl. Just keep running. Me and my bow and arrow. I think she had 4 shots? I think it was 4 shots. One of them she just pins on the thing. Another one she misses. The third one she actually gets the eye, and then the final one she just grabs and just goes like Rambo on the thing. Just like again using the same technique to sort of block the jaw, which makes sense. And she uses the blood to slip out. I will admit that there was a part of especially when she was crossing the bridge, I was like, holy crap! Like, are they really killing off Sasha? Is this Game of Thrones? And we go over to Connie, and his village has been attacked. And his house has been completely decimated, destroyed by this Titan that appears to have been just dropped there. It fell out of the freaking sky because people were saying, look at its legs. It can't move. So how did it even get there? It's very weird. And another connection I made was it's kind of weird how they introduced, the character of the mom or the woman who was being eaten by the Titan. She had a problem with her legs. And in this very same episode, there's the Titan that can't move her legs or can't use her legs. So I'm like, is that weird? Am I reading too much into this? But yeah, overall I thought it was a good episode. Like I said, mainly Sasha centric. Tell me your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching, especially now with the YouTube crisis, guys. I really want to just take the time to let you know how much I appreciate your attention and the amount of engagement that you give me. Because I don't really like asking for money. I'm not going to do that. I would rather die in the street from starvation than ask. I just don't feel comfortable. That's me, though. That's me. And I understand everybody thinks differently, but I just wouldn't do that. However, if you do want to support my channel, you can just watch some of my old videos. Or just watch my videos, just period. Which is something that you've done. I mean, unless you're new, and then hi. But if you've been with me since the Naruto days, you've done that. So just keep doing what you've been doing. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.